Hi there, today I'm going to show you how to make this quick and easy Christmas card which I made for a swap recently with my team. So starting off then, you're going to need a piece of Whisper White cardstock that's 4.5 by 4.5 inches. And I'm going to start by cutting out my circles. Now the easy way to line these up, this is a trick to it. Putting this on my grid paper, I am going to draw a line halfway across my card, so that's at 2.25 inches up and down, and then I'm going to do the same at 2.25 inches left and right, and that divides my my sheet up into the 4 squares. But to make it even easier to line up my circle, I'm going to draw some diagonal lines, just going from corner to corner. And they don't need to be super precise. This is just to give you a rough indication. I'm going to do that for all of my squares and then just turn that around again. Mark that off like so. Now you can see that I have my 4 squares marked off with the 4 crosses. So taking my 1.5 inch punch, I'm going to line it up so that the crosshairs are in the center of the circle, and then when I've got it where I want it to be, punch out. And then if I just go around and do that for all 4 of my circles. You can use the circle thinlits as well for this card, but for speed's sake I wanted to use the punch. And then obviously you'll want to turn it over, and there you'll have your 4 circles perfectly spaced round. So I'm going to put that to one side and then get the little elements ready that are going to go into the circles. So these are made by cutting out shapes from the Candy Lane designer series paper, which is in the new autumn winter catalogue. These papers are absolutely gorgeous, double-sided as always, they're absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to use this sheet here where you can see all of these gorgeous little elements. Now you can see I have been cutting out quite a few of these already, and I'm just going to show you the quick way to cut these out. So cut off as much of your excess as you can, and then using my snips you'll see that I hold them straight in front of me and hardly moving the scissors at all. It is the paper that I move round and round. So I'm just trimming off the excess round these shapes. And it takes no time at all. I made 6 of these cards for the swap I took part in, and I reckon it took me maybe about 20 minutes to cut out all of the shapes that I needed. So in true Blue Peter fashion, I have got some that I have cut out already, and so I'll just pop them to one side. Next thing I want to do is to stamp the sentiment. Let's start to put this card together. So I'm going to put down my stamping mat first, because the stamp I'm using here is a polymer one, so it does work better if you have the stamping mat there. And this is my Real Red ink pad. The sentiment I'm using is the Merry Christmas from the Star of Light stamp set. Again, this is another one out of the new autumn winter catalogue, and watch out for a video coming with that stamp set very soon. So just going to line this up. The photopolymer makes it really easy to see where you're going. Stamp that in the centre. Move that out of the way. So next I want to do the backgrounds for my circles. So this bit is quite important. You need to remember which direction you're in when you turn it over. So I've done a couple of these upside down already. So I'm going to use my Tombow glue and just put a little bit around the top left hand circle and the bottom right hand circle, and then I have a circle of the gold glimmer card that's going to go in the top left, And in the bottom right, this is my 1 3/4 inch circle. This is just the other side of the same sheet of designer series paper. You get this lovely crumb cake snow type effect that I'm going to punch out, and that is going to be my bottom circle. So I'm just going to pop them on there. The circle over here, I'm going to use this gorgeous, this is the Real Red grosgrain stitch ribbon. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Again, autumn winter catalogue. Don't worry, you'll get to see it very soon. And I've just cut off a 1.5 inch strip. Now for this one, I find it easier to stick the ribbon down with tear tape. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little piece of that along there. Beauty of tear tape is, of course, that you just tear it nice and easy. What I find as well is useful is if you tear off an extra bit of tear tape and just use it to stick down your gold glimmer card. It helps having just a little bit of extra there. And then if I peel off all my backing, you'll notice that one of the circles I've left empty. That's because it's just going to have the plain red background of the layer that it's going on to. Now, the tear tape alone is not enough. I'm going to want a wee bit more Tombow, just filling that round. And then let's start to put this together. So this is a 4 3/4 inch square of Real Red cardstock. I'm going to layer my white on top of. There we go. Just press all of that down. And then I have here a piece of 5 by 10 early espresso that I've scored down the middle to give me a 5 by 5 card blank. Again, my Tombow just to layer these up. Tombow is very forgiving, so you've got lots of room to have things lined the way you want it to be. There we go. Right, so now all the thing we need to do now is put our elements all together. So I'm just going to turn these over so that I can put a dimensional on the centre of each of them. These elements are just so cute. I love this little gingerbread man. Seems to be a bit of a theme for Stampin' Up this year. We've got some gorgeous gingerbread man stamp sets and punches as well. The star is really cute, and I just think it looks gorgeous against the gold glitter background. Little Christmas tree. Now here's a tip: when you put this in the circle, instead of putting it in the centre, you want to put it slightly further down. And there's a reason for that, which we will see in just a second. Just going to finish off by putting on mitten, just sticking that in the centre of the ribbon. Right, now here's the reason you wanted to put your Christmas tree down. I'm just going to finish off with one of these gold stars. These are from the metallic elements that we sell. Just pops that in place. You want to have space for that at the top of your circle. And then I'm going to use some rhinestones, just one in the centre of my star, and then just to finish off and make the sentiment look extra special, I'm going to put one on either side of my Merry Christmas, like so. There we go. So that is the front of our card finished. Now, one thing I just want to do very quickly, when you're using a dark cardstock as your card base, you can use a gold pen, of course, to write inside, but what I prefer doing is just putting in a white insert. So this is another piece of Whisper White cardstock at 4 3/4 inch square. I'm just going to stick that in there, and to make it a little bit more interesting, I'm going to use my sentiment. Now, this sentiment, with my thing, is actually from the Peaceful Pines stamp set. So that's from our annual catalogue. And again, the polymer means that you can line that up beautifully in the centre, knowing exactly where it went. And then just to give it the final finishing touch, I've cut out another one of the mittens from the paper, and I'm just going to stick that down in the bottom for a dash of colour. So you can see there we have the inside of the card and the outside completely finished. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and happy crafting!